Yo, what's up, y'all? So I wanted to do a little rant today about health. Um, Came back from the gym a while ago, and I was talking to a young girl there. She works at the front desk. Not gonna use her name. Um, and she kept talking about how she's trying to diet and lose all this weight, and it's just not working because the bad food. She has so many bad addictions to some of these foods, and she sometimes caves on her diet. And she tells me that usually 6 out of the 7 days, or 5 out of the 7 days, she eats relatively clean. So she should be losing weight. And she's noticing that she's not. And so I asked her, I was like, well, what mental space do you have around food? Like, what is your relationship with the food that you're eating? Because it's more than just calories. Um, for the longest time, even when I was growing up, I used to bastardize certain foods, and then I would say, "Oh, I can't eat that. I'm going to get fat." Or if I even so much as smell sweets, I'm going to gain weight. And for the longest time, even just being around sweets, it almost felt like a double chin would appear on me. Like I know some people that are listening to this will know what I'm talking about, where it's like you've been fat before, or you are currently fat, and so the other things that people will do that they can get away with and still be healthy, have six packs, whatever it may be. If you're a young kid, I'm sure if you're high school age, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Those people that eat like absolute dog shit and are shredded to the bone year round. Okay. At that young age, I mean, your bodies are still developing, so I wouldn't recommend, doing something like fasting at that young of an age. Maybe wait on the fasting till you're 18. But more importantly, is what is the connection that you have, that relationship with the food. Because that, I genuinely believe, is what actually makes you look the way that you do. And I'll get into explaining why. So last year, I was around 230 pounds during the summer. I'll see if I can find some photos and I'll throw them up on my website, or maybe I'll splice them into this video if I figure out how to do the editing correctly. And then I got on my fasting diet. I lost about 60 pounds in a month doing the fasting. But more important than just the absence of calories for the weight loss, I think it was the affirmations that I was telling myself. I kept telling myself daily that I am a healthy person. I switched up my mindset from being abusive to me, which is what I used to be. I used to be such an asshole to myself about food, because I would eat relatively clean. I would have my regular intermittent fasting diet, and I would have my one meal per day. But then within that meal, I would eat just, so much dog shit. I was eating lots of fast food, lots of ramen, lots of burritos, nachos, pizza, ice cream, the same stuff I eat still. However, I would still hold in my heart that those foods were bad for me and that I was just canceling them out. And that's what I did for years and years. I would tell myself, oh yeah, but I go to the gym, so, it's going to cancel out. The calories that I'm eating, I'm going to cancel out with the calories I burn, instead of changing my mindset to it didn't matter what I ate, every single calorie that enters my body gets utilized to build muscle. It builds more tissue. I get stronger, I get denser, like not denser as in like heavier, but denser as in like my muscle, the tensile strength of the fibers is higher. And I would tell myself this. I was like, I don't want to be like a soft human. I kind of want to have like that Spider-Man-y build where it's like, the web of Spider-Man, how they could say like, oh God, what movie was that from? I think it was the second one versus Doc Ock, where he throws out the webs and he stops a moving train just with his webs. The tiny little thin web. That's kind of what I wanted to turn my body into. I wanted my muscles to be so densely muscular that I would be immune to injuries in the future, because I would basically just be like walking around steel. So I would tell myself this. I'd repeatedly tell myself this, and I started to notice that first month that I was doing the fasting, right? So I would eat one meal every 3 days. I would heavily ritualize the meal. I would heavily say affirmations prior to the meal and after the meal. I'd be grateful for the amount of muscle that I was putting on and the amount of fat that I was losing through the food that I was eating. So I completely changed my headspace around food, and I started talking to myself in such a way that it didn't matter. It literally did not matter what the food was that went into my body. everything without fail, everything without fail went to building muscle and burning fat. Now, I want this to be an open-end video where people comment below their own opinions, because that's what I want to ask you guys. Do you think that is actually helpful? Do you think that you could lie to yourself in such a way so profusely and tell yourself, I am healthy, I have a six-pack, I'm in amazing shape, I've never been in better shape my entire life, for long enough while you're eating your foods, as well as reprogramming your beliefs around foods, so you could say like, yeah, I can eat whatever I want and I'm still in shape. All the food I eat gets incinerated by my stomach. I'm a quantum power plant for energy, right? These are some of the things that I tell myself. I tell myself that I'm a power plant of solar energy, that I am able to photosynthesize, that I can sit out in the sun and get energy, unlimited amounts. Whatever I need, I can get from the universe. And you tell yourself this consistently enough, does it start to actually do something for you in your reality? And that is very interesting. And I've dealt with this not just with food, but I've dealt with this with other topics. If you tell yourself that you're creative over and over again for weeks on end, you're probably going to start being more creative. If you tell yourself that you're intelligent weeks on end, you're probably going to start picking up some habits that might embolden themselves to become more of an intelligent person. You know, so it's such an interesting topic to me, because genuinely on my path, one of my purposes that I want to, help service this planet with is, I want to write the ultimate guide to losing weight and achieving the body of your dreams. Because I don't believe that people should be overweight and unhealthy. I don't think anyone actually wants to be that way. I think it's generally due to either laziness or their own self-beliefs. And a lot of the times it's due to time. It's hard to be in shape. It is hard to go to the gym every day. It's also expensive to eat clean. Go to Whole Foods. Look at how much it costs for all the processed garbage that we put in our mouths compared to some of the more organic, healthier options. It's ridiculous. It is very difficult. So guys, I'm there with you. I understand. It fucking sucks trying to get in shape, trying to lose weight, trying to be the best version of yourself. But that's why I'm here. I'm trying to figure it out. And I think a piece of it will be what we tell ourselves moving into the future. I believe consciousness is more important than anything within the physical reality that we currently know of. As we get higher and higher levels of technology, we're starting to discover there are things smaller than atoms even. There's plasma. And that makes up most of our known universe. So in actuality, we don't even know 1% of reality. Because it's now being said that 1% of our reality is made up of atoms, and then the 99% other than that is made up of plasma. But we can't even see plasma, or we didn't even know it existed before. So, do we understand what's going on at all? That's what I'm trying to say. I think we're playing a game, a giant video game, and people back in the day made up rules. And they've been making up rules for a while. And even nowadays, we have a new set of rules. If you think about it, when you buy a house, there are rules to that, right? You want to go and get a surgery done, there are rules to that. You want to get a job, well, you probably have to have some prerequisites and maybe a resume first, so there are rules to that as well. There are rules to fucking everything. But why don't we start questioning some of these rules? Are these rules actually in place to service us, or are they to hamper us? Are they to enslave us? I think it's more so for the enslavement. And hear me out on this, because when the Civil War ended, the Emancipation Proclamation, that was 1863, that didn't really end slavery outright. And then you have Jim Crow afterwards, and a bunch of things happen. You have civil rights movement, you have feminism. So we think as a people, as a humanity, as a structured society, that we've gotten past slavery, right? We think that we live in a society where everyone's equal and there's no differences between us. Well, what if we just switched? who was on the plantation. I know that sounds fucking terrible, but the same people are still running it that always have run it. It's the big banks, it's the super elites, it's the people behind closed doors that none of us even know their names, right? These are the people that actually run the show. But now, the people on the plantation, it's all of us. It's not just one group of people, it's everybody. But this game of the plantation's different because they tell you what to believe. They tell you what to think. They tell you what you can do, and then they put this humongous burden of taxation on top of you, as well as bills and other expenses, to the point where essentially people aren't even able to live their own lives. We're just 9-to-5 slaves. And we haven't realized it yet. We live our whole life worshiping the God that is money. You ever notice that on the US dollar? It says, "In God we trust," with a giant pyramid and an eye. Which God are we worshiping here? The dollar? Or some God outside of our reality? I think it's the dollar. That's the God that we worship here in this country. Just look at Wall Street. The bull and the bear. It's just signs of Belial. You know, of evil usury systems and all that bullshit. I know I'm kind of going off tangent. This started with health and now we're talking about the economy and the deep state. Welcome to my channel. This is what I do. I can't turn my brain off from those evil guys because that's typically what I like to think about. You know? I like to look at what makes people tick. Why people would be evil, to try and figure out, okay, like what game are they fucking playing? And it's interesting. It's fun for me. But we'll cover that back on a different video. So getting back to the whole health portion and sort of the manifestation of your perfect dream body, my advice on what I would like some people to start doing if you get to this part of the video is, seriously, if you don't have a journal yet, please get a journal and start writing things down in the journal that you would like to achieve within your life. You'll start to notice that things will start manifesting themselves easier. And when I say manifestation, I don't think it's, magically going to pop up into your reality, okay? That's not what I'm talking about. When I say manifestation, I'm talking about if you focus on something enough, you start to get these images inside your head, these visions, these words, whatever it may be. It's contact from a source outside of yourself, and then you can act on those, and that will lead you to the manifestation of whatever your desire is. Okay, so what happens if we start focusing our mental effort on the fact that we are healthy irrespective of our current body condition? So we can be fat currently, but if we start telling ourselves in the mirror that I am healthy, I am in wonderful shape, I am burning fat day and night, I am an energy plant, a solar quantum energy plant that is constantly burning fuel, right? What if we change our mindset to that of food as just being fuel, and we can never get enough fuel, okay? And we don't need to eat all the time, because if we're hungry, we can get our energy from the universe. We can get it from photosynthesis. We can get it from the water. We can get it from fucking anything. You can make it up. That's my point with this video. Whatever you want to believe, you can believe. And if you believe it vigorously enough, well, I think it might actually have the power to impact your entire reality. And so I'm asking you guys, start writing some things down, play around with it, see what you can manifest, see what you can change within your reality simply by writing things, simply by repeating affirmations, simply by focusing on the reality you desire to experience instead of the one that you are currently experiencing. That is the goal here. We want to focus on the good to attract more good. Because if you focus on the bad, you get more of the bad. And in ending, closing statements here, guys, if you want to lose weight the most efficient way humanly possible, focus on the fact that you are getting healthier. Focus on the fact that you are putting in the work. Focus on the fact that you are building muscle and you are changing your life. You are going to live a longer, healthier, more prosperous life because of all the effort that you're putting in. I want you to focus on that. If you have a little cheat day here and there, that's okay. I lie to myself when I have a cheat day. I tell myself that that cheat day is going to build more muscle than a regular day. That upgrade in the amount of calories, my body's not used to it. So you know what my body's going to do? It's going to go into overproduction mode. This is what I tell myself. This is what I write down in my journal. I tell myself I'm going to build more muscle and I'm going to wake up leaner. I'm going to be vascular. I'm going to be veiny. I'm going to look fucking good. And everyone's going to love it. Try it out. Tell me what you think. Love you guys. Have a good one. Hug a tree. Hug your neighbor. Just do you. Enjoy life.